Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at this. It's a Tracer Lab Radioactivity Demonstrator. It's from 1948. It's a little different than some of the other units we've had. We've had some Men in Black styled radioactivity monitors. We've had some civil defense units. Actually, we've had a couple civil defense units over the years. We've had a Hoffman unit. We actually had one that was from the US Navy, which was a really cool item. We've had one from Oregon. It's an Ore Master. All these items have been sold through our eBay store, but today we're going to be taking a look at this. It's the Tracer Lab, like I said, a model SU-4. It was built in 1948 and it was used for teaching in high schools. Its voltage can be varied from 500 to 1100 volts. It weighed about 14 pounds. And in 1950 it sold for $112.50, which when you convert it to 2023's currency is about $1,436. So let's go ahead and get this item on the bench. We'll take a look inside, we'll do a little cleaning, and we'll plug it in and see if it powers up. So here's our item. We've got a power knob on the left and a selector lever on the right. It's got a little sticker on the front here. Overall, the item's in pretty clean shape. There is some gunk on the top that we'll address later. But the sides, other than some scratches, no obvious dents. Even the bottom looks to be in pretty good shape. The power cord looks good, so let's go ahead and get this plugged into our setup. See if the item powers on. Here's our Variac isolation transformer, current limited supply. Get this plugged in, switch that on, and then switch the item on. As I increase the voltage here on the knob, you can actually see the meter there increase. All the way up to the indicator that says operate at 0.9 kV, that little piece of paper there, that sticker. As I increase it all the way, sure enough, the meter indicates 0.9 kV. So let's get this item taken apart. One word of warning here. Please know what you're doing before you venture into taking any of these old items apart. Even though the item is unplugged, these capacitors can still hold a lethal voltage. So again, before you venture into taking these items apart, know what you're doing, and I'd advise even not taking these items apart unless you really are versed in working on old tube gear. Having said that, we've got the last of these screws to take out, and then we can go ahead and get the cover off of this item. Once we get the cover off, we can get a better look in the inside. There we go. So we can see a few items in this unit. Up in the top, that black tube is the Geiger tube. Then we've got those capacitors that I mentioned. As we flip the item over, we can see some of the other tubes, the rectification tubes and amplification tubes. We've also got the transformer there. That big shiny can is some more capacitors. The speaker that we talked about earlier. There's the back of the meter. Yeah. So let's go ahead and put this item back together. And then we'll do some cleaning of it and see if we could make it look a little better than it looks now. One bit of advice here is when you're putting these old items back together, make sure that you don't force any of these screws. If it came apart easy, it should go back together fairly easy. So just take extra special care. You'll notice that black tray that I have there on the left, also something really handy when you're taking these items apart to keep your screws organized. There was 6 of the screws that were one style and then 2 of a different style. So having that tray is really helpful to kind of just keep yourself organized. Let's get on to the cleaning here. I usually use a store brand Windex type product. It does a pretty good job getting most of the grime off. The only real advice here I would say is when you clean the meter face, be real gentle because you don't want to push that piece of glass in. You actually, if you push too hard, you can separate the glass from the meter face and then you've really got a can of worms. Something else I would say is kind of change your rag often, or at least rotate it so you're not just rubbing in the old dirt and causing any scratches that weren't there originally. Other than that, just kind of wipe it down and then we can address that issue on the top. I've got a product that I use for that we'll take a look at here in just a bit. Alright, so now we'll address this last bit of grime that's on the top here. I use a product called Goo Gone. It works pretty well. This is a little different in that it's a spray gel. The spray gel tends to kind of stay put, so as you're working it in, it doesn't just run all over the place. So I really like that gel for this kind of stuff, especially when it's a rounded edge like that. It won't just ooze down and get all over the item. So I spray it on, and then I use one of these plastic scrapers here and just gently work over the item. I'll use a paper towel to kind of wipe some of the goo off that this Goo Gone does remove, and then sometimes I'll actually have to repeat the process a few times. Scrape it, wipe it, spray it again, and kind of just repeat. But overall it tends to really do a pretty good job at getting some of this old crusty residue off. You'll see there that it kind of does, it's a good 90% better. Last, this bottom section here was a little bit more stubborn. Again, this wasn't gummy residue, it was just a dried, caked on mess that just did not want to come off. But I think after working at it for a bit, it came out pretty nice. I think the new owner that'll get this will be happy, even though he might not know this has been done. He or she might not know we've gone through this much work, kind of wiping it down one last time. There you have it. Came out pretty clean. This is the Tracer Lab Model SU4, built in 1948. If you made it this far in the video, thanks so much. I appreciate you coming by. Hope you enjoyed this style of video. If you did, let me know what you like, what you don't like. I really depend on you guys to tell me, because I really don't know what you guys want to see. More cleaning, more product. Here's some shots that I took of it, maybe even my process of taking my photos that I will use eventually for eBay. Overall, that kind of does it. Thanks so much for sticking around. Have a great day. Bye-bye.